What's up guys, today I'm going to go through how I shot and edited this car edit on my mobile phone. Today I'm using the iPhone 11 Pro in 4K 60 frames per second. So for this first shot, I wanted to do like a one-shot style, walking around the car, focusing on different points. So I saw this orange fence. I really wanted to incorporate into the shot. So I started panning from the fence and then just tried to walk at a steady pace, focusing on different points of the car, adding some rotation to the phone, no quick movement, just trying to like add slow rotation so that when you speed it up in editing, you get a cool rotation effect. I also love filming stuff on a mobile because you can get some super unique shots and move the camera in a way that you can't really do very easily on a normal camera. So this shot on the wheel, getting like a really smooth rotation movement. And then I saw this puddle and had to get this reflection shot because it just looks super cool with the bridge and the reflection in the puddle. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the filming. So let's get into editing this first shot. So this is what the shot looks like. The stabilization on the iPhone is amazing. Even just straight off the camera, it's super smooth. So what I'm going to do is go through this video clip and add speed ramps to where I want the video clip to slow down. So panning from this fence, here's a really nice shot of the car. So what I'm going to do is click the video clip, hold down Shift, press B to add a speed ramp, and then I'm going to move along the video and hold Shift, press B to add another speed ramp. And I'm not going to edit these yet. I'm going to wait until the end when I've added all my speed ramps. So I probably want it to speed up to around here. That's also a nice shot of the wing mirror right there. So I'm going to hold Shift, press B, add another speed ramp, go to about there, hold Shift, press B. And then we go on to the rear of the car. I think I'll speed all this up. And then about here, I'll hold Shift, press B, and I'll add another one here. Then I want it to speed up again. So we get to the badges on the car. I'll probably slow it down again here. So I'm going to add more speed ramps. And then another one here, and there. Maybe another one here on the twist. And then I'll just speed that up at the end. So we have this nice spin, which could make a cool transition. So now I've added my speed ramps. What I'm going to do is use these tabs right here, click and hold, and just drag this closer to the start, which will speed it up. And then because I shot in 60 frames per second, I do have the ability to slow this down by 40% and it'll still be nice and smooth. But I'll come back to that if I want to slow it down. What I'm going to do is just go and speed up all of the parts that I want to be fast. I'm just going to speed them up. Now that I've sped up the bits I want to speed up, what I'm going to do is go back and use these tabs and just drag them so that they all link up. This will make sure that the speed ramps are nice and smooth, because what they do is smooth out the difference between fast and slow. So I'm just going to go through, watch it back and tweak up some of the speed ramps, speed it up in some places and slow it down in other places. And if you ever want to move a speed ramp, then what you do is double click on the speed ramp, go to edit, and then you can just move these, click and hold to move the position of them. So we have this bit here where the shot is sort of pulling back from the car, and it'll be a really good opportunity to use the vertigo effect. So basically I want to zoom the video in as the shot is panning back to give the effect that the background is coming closer, but the car is staying in the same place. So to do that, what I'm going to do is actually use a plugin called Smooth Camera Zooms. So I'm going to go to my titles tab and go to Smooth Camera Zooms. I'll leave the link to this plugin down below. It's a super useful plugin if you want to get smooth zoom in and zoom out movements in your video. Slow zoom, zoom in and out smooth. So I'm going to add this over the part where I want to add this vertigo effect. I'm going to use this target area here to keep the car in the center. The background looks like it's coming towards you, but the car is staying in the same place. It's a really cool effect and it saves a lot of keyframe timing, and it also makes it a lot smoother than using the transform tool in Final Cut Pro. And I can also use it here if I want to focus on this badge. Cool, so that's looking pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is add some motion blur. And to do that, I'm going to add an adjustment layer. The adjustment layer doesn't come with Final Cut Pro, but I'll leave a link to it in the description. It's a free download. And then I'm going to add RSMB from Revision FX. This is a pretty premium plugin. I'll leave the link to it in the description. If you don't have RSMB, then you can also use this free motion blur plugin. I normally use moderate motion blur too, but it's basically going to add motion blur and smooth out all of these speed ramps. And I'm also going to add a bit of color grading before I render that out. And for this one, I used the neon, teal and orange. And you can find that LUT in my LUT pack. I'll leave the link in the description. And I'm also just going to drop down the exposure. Once I watched the video back, I actually added a bit more stabilization. I used the smooth cam stabilization method and turned down the rotation and scale and just used the translation smooth. I just turned that up a little bit just to smooth out the video clips a little bit more. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the editing. I used the same techniques on all the other video clips in the little edit. I did also add a cool thunder and lightning effect to the last couple of shots. I might do a tutorial on that in the future. I'll quickly go through the render settings that I use for this one. So what I'm going to do is press Command J on the keyboard to bring up my project settings. I'm editing in 1080p so that it's a lot faster to edit. And then before I export a project, if I filmed in 4K, then I'll go to the project settings, go to video, switch it to 4K, click OK. And then I'm going to select my project in the timeline, go up to the export button up here, go to Apple devices, and then go to settings. And I normally use Apple devices, video codec, better quality H.264, and resolution on 4K. So I think the main difference with Apple devices versus computer or web hosting is just the file format that it comes in. So web hosting is .mov, Apple devices is .m4v, and then computer is MP4. I've always used Apple devices and the quality seems pretty good, so I just stick with that. Although this file format doesn't open on some movie players because it's made for Apple devices specifically. So the safest bet is probably to use computer or web hosting if you're having trouble opening the video file. But yeah, those are the export settings that I'm using for this one. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I think it turned out pretty cool. It's amazing what you can get from a mobile phone. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one.